This is number 2 on our list, the Axumite Empire. Once the heart of Red Sea trade, now largely forgotten. In the highlands of modern Ethiopia and Eritrea, the Axumite Empire rose around the 1st century CE and became one of the great powers of the ancient world. At its height, Axum controlled the trade routes of the Red Sea, linking Africa, Arabia, and the Mediterranean. Roman merchants, Indian sailors, and Arabian caravans all crossed its ports. To outsiders, Axum was a superpower, wealthy, sophisticated, and central to the flow of goods between continents. Yet today, its name rarely appears alongside Rome, Persia, or China. The wealth of Axum came from trade. Its merchants exported ivory, gold, frankincense, and exotic animals. In return, they imported textiles, glass, wine, and spices. The key port of Agelis bustled with ships from across the known world. Ancient writers described it as one of the busiest markets of the Red Sea, filled with goods from as far away as India and the Roman Empire. Axum's position gave it control over maritime trade between the Mediterranean and the Indian Ocean, a role that made it both rich and influential. One sign of Axum's power was its coinage. It was one of the first African civilizations to mint its own coins in gold, silver, and bronze. These coins circulated widely, found as far as India, proof of Axum's far-reaching influence. They carried the faces of kings, inscriptions in Greek, and symbols that reflected both political and religious change. Unlike many forgotten civilizations, the Axumites left a clear economic footprint, stamped in metal, that endured long after their empire faded. The Axumites also made their mark through religion. In the 4th century CE, under King Axum, officially adopted Christianity, making it one of the earliest Christian kingdoms in the world. Long before most of Europe had converted, Axum built churches, translated scriptures, and tied itself to the growing Christian world. This identity would endure, linking Ethiopia to the traditions of Christianity for centuries, even as neighboring regions followed Islam. In this way, Axum shaped the spiritual map of Africa and beyond. The monuments of Axum still stand today. Towering granite stelae, some over 20 meters tall, rise above the landscape. These obelisks were carved from single pieces of stone, decorated with false windows and doors to represent multi-story buildings. They marked the tombs of Axumite rulers, silent guardians of the past. Their size and craftsmanship rival anything built in Rome or Egypt, yet they remain lesser known, reminders of a forgotten giant. But, like all empires, Axum eventually declined. Starting around the 7th century, new powers emerged. The rise of Islam shifted trade routes away from the Red Sea, toward the Persian Gulf. Axum's ports lost their prominence, cutting off the empire's lifeline of commerce. Environmental pressures may have added to the strain. Deforestation, soil erosion, and changing rainfall patterns undermined agriculture. By the 10th century, the once great empire had shrunk, leaving behind only its monuments and legends. When European explorers encountered Ethiopia in the Middle Ages, they were astonished to find an ancient Christian kingdom still surviving in the highlands. They connected it to old tales of Prester John, the mythical Christian king of the East. In reality, they were glimpsing the legacy of Axum, a civilization whose memory had already faded outside Africa. Today, Axum is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Its stelae, coins, and churches tell the story of a forgotten superpower that once rivaled Rome in wealth and influence. Standing before the granite obelisks, or holding an Axumite coin that once crossed seas, you realize just how global this empire was. And if you've been enjoying this journey through forgotten civilizations, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us bring more of these overlooked stories back into the light. The Axumite Empire proves that Africa was never isolated from the great currents of history. It traded across oceans, shaped religion, and built monuments that still stand. And yet, it slipped from memory, overshadowed by its rivals. From the Red Sea ports of Axum, we now move to rank number 1, where the most astonishing of the forgotten civilizations awaits.